I was born and raised in central Alabama, just south of Birmingham. My parents carried me to a church at a young age. I actually started about 7 or 8 years old that I can remember, but it wasn't on a regular basis. And then about 12 years old, all my friends were getting baptized, so hey man, that's cool. They're getting baptized, I don't want to be any different, so I went ahead and got baptized too. When I graduated from high school in '75, I went into the military. My life was filled with drugs and alcohol and carousing and bar scene. I went into special forces and for the adrenaline rush because I thought it was so cool to be able to jump out of planes, rappel out of helicopters and blow things up. Even with getting shot out, jumping out of planes and scuba diving and all that stuff, the thrill and the excitement just wasn't there anymore. It's because that hole that was in my heart wasn't being filled by all that excitement. The next thing that came into my life was motorcycles. First Harley that I had was a '78 lowrider. Got involved with a local motorcycle club as a hang-around. I worked my way up to the enforcer for the local chapter, which meant that I did all the bad stuff. During this whole time, God was speaking to me, trying to get my attention, but I didn't want anything to do with it. I didn't realize what it was that was trying to get my attention. I just knew that there was something out there. In August of '87, there was an individual that came into a house that the vice president and myself and 2 women were at, and came in and started talking to us, and he lived there, and he walked back to his bedroom. After about 5 or 10 minutes, came out of the bedroom and walked up to me with a .357 in order to collect the contract that was on my head, on my life, and stuck a .357 into my head and pulled the trigger. He pulled the trigger, the gun discharged, but God prevented any bullet or any flash burn coming out of the barrel. The 2 of us jumped up and ran, got on our bikes and took off, and I had just chopped my bike a few days earlier, and I got my leg tangled up underneath the frame and twisted it and broke it in 2 places. So after I got out of the hospital from that one, I was in a safe house for a few days, and about the 3rd day, I was in a recliner that morning. I hadn't started doing drugs or alcohol that day yet, and I heard the audible voice of God, the same as what you're hearing my voice now, and he told me that if I didn't leave, I was going to end up dead. And for the first time, I had literally the fear of God come upon my life. I'd never known fear in my life, and all of a sudden I was afraid of everything. And it's kind of like Saul had a spirit of torment come against him, and I had a spirit of fear that just totally terrified me about everything. So I slithered out of the state I was in and went back to Alabama and with my parents. And they tried to get me involved in church, and I wanted nothing to do with that. So after about a year of searching for what it was that I was wanting to feel through wizardry and witchcraft and Eastern mysticism and anything and everything you can think of, I came to Jesus in a field beside my parents' house. Nobody there, no preacher, no church service, no nothing. I finally just fell to my knees and gave it up to God and said, I can't deal with this anymore. If Jesus, if you're real, you've got to show yourself, you've got to prove yourself to me. You've got to deliver me from all this stuff that I'm going through. And immediately, I was cleansed of all the addictions that I had, all the anger, the fear, the frustration, that I had in my life. And from that point on, started following Christ. I became radically saved, I guess you would say, and radically on fire for Jesus. God blessed us over the years. My wife, Lenice, and I were able to start an inner city ministry where we ministered to not only to the homeless, but also to the people that were in the inner city project areas. I was able to work as an evangelist. We helped start the Tribe of Judah motorcycle ministry here in Middle Tennessee, where we minister to the outlaw bikers. I'm able to minister back to the one percenters, the lifestyle that I came out of. I'm able to minister back to that, to share Christ, the plant seeds, the water seeds, and as the Holy Spirit gives us the opportunity to harvest those seeds for the kingdom. It's not necessarily my background that has given me the opportunity to share Jesus in the different areas that I have. It's the fact that this is what God had ordained for my life as a Christian was to be able to share Jesus. Whether you're raised in the church or whether you're come from a heathen background like I did, Christ is still going to use you no matter what. You don't have to go out and live the lifestyle that I did or that so many others do in order to be a strong witness for Christ. All you have to do is just be able and willing and to give your hands to Christ for Him to use.